Well then. God, I'm so tired. I mean, that's what happens when you like the longest sleep period I think I've had in the past 48 hours, I think, at this point. Yeah, I think 48 hours is about 2 hours. It's not a lot. It's like I've slept a couple of times up to 2 hours, but like, it's like 3 times? Yeah, I slept a bit yesterday morning. I slept, I think, a bit again. Then after breakfast. Yeah, and then slept a bit yesterday. Well, today afternoon, actually. It's still today. And then just before this race. So I'm up to 4. So no, like, I did not oversleep. Although I have reduced my practice time considerably, you could say. Does it matter? Nah. It won't. Likely it won't. So, With we solved that. It's like, I mean, I haven't reduced the practice time that considerably. I have still like 15 minutes or so to go. And I moved these up because they looked so low down, but now they look up far higher. Oh god. Windows? Did this just crash my OVR2 kit? Hello, OVR2 kit, where the hell did you go? Oh, don't tell me I have this bug now. No, this looks fine. It's just OVR2 kit just vanished. It seems. I think it crashed, maybe. Oh, that's great. It looks to be still running, but like it's not responding to me opening it up again. Sure. Okay, it is. It just was fucking stupid. So what did you do there, OVR2 kit? Why did you hide all my windows into the floor? You napkin. Primary car. Gran Turismo. And this livery. Right. Okay, the windows can still be brought to me, so let me just bring them back up, I guess. When they decide to vanish into the ether. So we need also the... I think they changed the password between... Yeah, they changed the password between rounds. Pain! Come on! Passwords. Oof. Oof. Yeah, they changed password between rounds, but like they only change a single thing on the password. Let's see, can we edit the password here? Yes, we can. Right, okay. Oh yeah, it's showing my car in third person because I was stewarding the other day. Stewarding on Thursday morning, which is why in part of my sleep schedule so far. Wait a second, am I the only GT4? Hold on a sec. Did I miss something? I mean, there definitely were some, I think, last week. It's just that I slept. I'm pretty sure that people still turned up for GT4. So... oh, I need to change my HUD a bit. General? No, it wasn't there. HUD. Disable gear for speed fuel. Thank you. Because that's just annoying and obnoxious. So, that is present. Return to garage. Yeah, we have one other GT4, and that is a McLaren driver of Source. Don't know if we saw him at the first round. We're gonna just check briefly the results, right? With so little GT4s here, we can just, you know, see what has happened previously. At least I'm starting to feel a bit more awake than before. What was I about to say? Like, getting results for the other races. So, qualifying. GT4. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right. 2 people turned up for Valencia qualifying as well. 2 different people, actually. That's painful. Do we have different results for the race? Yeah, GT4 results in the race. Well, it includes also drivers that didn't actually finish. Competes like Marco Rosas, Martin Olivia, Miguel Esteve, and me. So Aris drove an Alpine actually previous race, but he didn't even finish the previous race. He only drove 7 laps. So that's interesting. Imola, let's briefly see. What have we done? One GT3, 1 GT4s. I think the series is just dead, unfortunately. Martin Oliveira. I think when I didn't turn up, he decided to not turn up anymore. Yeah, Esteves. Right, that is the other GT4 driver. Is that correct? No, it's Soros. Yeah, he's Soros. 8th. Completed a single lap in the Alpine at Imola. So he seems to not even be able to finish his races. That's a bit of an F, bruh. Bit of a bruh moment there. He's also 13 seconds off the pace of the GT3s, which, you know, I think is a bit much slow. Yeah, GT3 is doing 34.1s as fastest. Soros with a 47.3. Let's see if we can actually use the old setup that we have on this track. It was relatively decent back in the day. 70 liters. I don't know, should be enough. There's some tow on the car, there's some pressures into the tires. Not much though, it might be not probably too much a bit. Oh, I have actually some anti-roll on the back. That won't be spicy. Very spicy drive. Let's see. I mean, this is probably low pressure at this point. It's not in terms of tires, in terms of against this guy. Because I feel like I might just utterly obliterate him by accident. Yeah. I mean, that on the 3rd round we have only 2 GT4s left is, with 7 sign-ups, not the most surprising. On the other hand, it is still surprising how few people we are in general, there's only 10 people who have bothered to turn up. I think the large part is in this that... Oh, what? The server just got shut down. What just happened? I saw a message in chat and then like, so it lost connection. Okay, what's going on here? Also video varningar. The problem is typing this down on like some piece of information is gonna be a bit difficult. Let me just try. Let's type this into DeepL briefly. Could you kindly not do this stupid shit where you pop all the windows up? Thank you. And no thank you for downloading your app. I don't gain anything from it. Let me just use your web app. Please, I beg you. Like, just leave me alone. I mean, I probably need to just log out and log back into. Why are you translating into fucking Dutch? Can you just explain to me why I want Dutch, please? No, I beg you, don't. Yes, the server will be rebooted. Right, my hunch was correct. English American server restarted, right. Makes sense. But goddammit, 10 people. There are 30 people signed up for the event itself. There's like 30 people signed up in GT3. GT3 is nearly full. 32 people, I think, signed up. 8 turn up. What is this? I mean, yeah, the ACC servers have been like having issues the last few days I've seen. We've lost an endurance race last weekend because of that, which is not so fun. But yeah, I think this is a lot less of like the recent technology issues. This is just sad. It's the third round of a championship. I sadly missed the second round due to you know, being tired, laying down a bit to sleep, and then just completely oversleeping that one. Not so great. Happens. Rarely. Occasionally. But like, unfortunately I missed that one, but like, looking at the result sheet, that one didn't go particularly too well either. Imola, we actually had some attendance in the GT4 class, 8 people turned up. That's at least something, considering there's like 7 signed up currently. Right. Valencia, however, saw how many people finished in GT3? 13 people turned up in GT3 for qualifying. So you, I missed the you are having. I missed the I in your sentence, like you're having issues, issues with my steering wheel and keyboards. Like, honestly, how do you have issues with a keyboard? that is impressive in some ways. Like, I don't even know how. To have issues with a keyboard because USB standard, the hot plug, they should just work. And if they don't, there's something horrifically terribly wrong with them. But yeah, Valencia already had only 13 people. Oh, it intermittently cuts out. Yeah, that's not fun. That really isn't fun. I mean, the usual troubleshooting steps of try a different USB board and like try an entire different keyboard could work. It's a cheap place. aka the same thing that I have this thing, and it works fine. Actually, when we talk about Bluetooth, there's a thing, and it is your Bluetooth dongle to receive data. Maybe placing that, using a USB extender and like placing it somewhere else helps. Because I had it behind my PC and I had like 0 range on this keyboard. It had absolutely 0 range. I couldn't use it really. I had like an extender for like a Wi-Fi dongle or something, and used that to like extend the thing onto my shelf next to my PC. So there's like basically a clear line of sight from my keyboard to this receiver, and it's now working fine. But like behind my PC, where it would have to go through all the metal that is the PC case, it didn't work well. No chance. That didn't work particularly well. I had like barely any range if it wanted to work at all. So that is so I mean, I do have to say, like, how the hell do you end up with a household that doesn't have multiple keyboards of just normal USB keyboard laying around? Because like I have enough of the enough to just. I mean, I have one disassembled where I've like removed the encoder out of it to make a button box out of it that I still haven't started doing. Like USB keyboards, I can. Because occasionally you got them with like pre-builds, and so you just have them. And I'm not someone who's like has the keyboard obsession like these people with mechanical keyboards. I don't. I have one that sounds like one. It is a membrane keyboard still, and it's just very loud, but it has RGB, so I can type at night. I just continue using it because I have it. I don't need to buy multiple ones. Yet I've had no real issues with this 1x1 USB keyboard. Yeah. It is unfortunate. This I just have for like years and years and years of just stuff. Of like the pile of cables that includes a pile of keyboards for me. So the household typical pile of cables that has like USB A to USB to USB B for like printer cables and stuff. Like I've done because it just happens to exist, and like some weird like 30-year-old proprietary port for a camera. Oh, we've got another GT4 driver! Yay! We've got another GT4 on the server. Hooray, we've got actually 17 people now turning up. We've got attendance! We've got attendance here. Right, I should actually start putting practice labs up. But yeah, I mean, if you have like a spare extending key, USB extension, or just try plugging in. I'm assuming you're using a USB dongle for actually connecting the keyboard with a PC. I'm assuming that. Because that's what I'm doing. I don't have Bluetooth built into this piece. My laptop has it, but like my laptop would catch fire if I would even think about booting ACC up. I don't think it would boot it straight up. I think it couldn't even load it. I know it can load, like back in the day it could load R-Factor 2, but I don't think so. Yeah, since DX11 I don't think I can anymore. DX9 RF2 could be loaded, but DX11 can't anymore. Which like dates me quite a bit if I know that one. And you could boot into CSGO, but like that, even on the old maps, would like barely run on that computer. Yeah, it's Intel integrated graphics, so it can't do much. It's fine. It's good for like carrying around and writing code on it. It's good for college stuff. That's all it has to do. It the end of the day. Right. I guess people couldn't join the server, or everybody turns up like 5 minutes before actually the race happens. Which, you know, I can't blame them too much, considering I do that regularly. Although I wouldn't particularly gamble with this series, considering it's very easy for me to fall asleep if I don't attend. Oh, it's hilarious. But I hope you can get your keyboard issues sorted. Wireless keyboards has been very useful for me when I've been racing with my rig because of how my setup is set up. I'm literally turned 90 degrees to the left from my... Jesus Christ. Turned 90 degrees left from my PC. Like, my desk is over there. With my monitors. I don't have a monitor in front of me. Hello there, yo. How are you doing? Well, I felt like I was probably gonna have here like a non-race on my hands, considering nobody had... The turn-up was very bad like 10 minutes ago. And they restarted the server, but since then actually people have joined, so we actually have more than like 2 GT4 cars. How am I? Well, alive is a good descriptor. I didn't get much sleep over the last 48 hours or so. I'm feeling a bit better since I actually got on the rig and started streaming. God, I'm going slow. But otherwise I'm pretty tired. And just yearning for some actual proper rest. Which I might just go to bed after this and sleep till like 8 AM when I get awoken to fetch breakfast. Actually, yeah, I don't need to fetch breakfast. Right. My brother will return from work, so he will bring breakfast. That's the thing. But yeah, I guess I'm alive. I mean, I skipped the race this week because I was just... I wouldn't... The thing is, I'm feeling exhausted, but I'm like not doing that much. It's been like the past 2 weeks. I mean, today is very understandable why I'm so exhausted because I have barely gotten any sleep, but like... It's not like I do that much. It's not like I've built like a shed or something. I can say, yeah, I've done this, like, I'm physically exhausted because I've done... Well, I'm physically exhausted because I cycled like 30 kilometers or something like that, but no. No, I didn't do any of that. I've like filed some paperwork and stuff. And even my environment is not that... Hello GT3 idiots. Things like watching you. Free for... Well, you seem to not have much free time. Considering I don't stream that often. So when you list watching me as a free time activity, that's... doesn't bode well. She is, we both are in need of sleep. Yeah, essentially that. Yeah, I mean, I end up occasionally, but my body also is like, bruh, I want some sleep, mate, and God, this is so oversteery. This was a solid setup prior to 1.9. This had no issues whatsoever to drive. Very easy. But no, since 1.9, this is downright dangerous to drive. I think they really hurt the Maserati with 1.9. The car is unreasonably hard to drive at this point. I think it is just, like, at first I thought, like, oh yeah, the tire update killed it. I was like, but when they fixed the tires again, and it wasn't like a permanent change, because I felt like that's gonna end my ACC career downright. And nobody really talking about it. Besides, like, someone on Reddit at some point mentioning it in Aries being like, yeah, we found see the issue with the grading. And I'm like, thank fucking goodness, it wasn't just me who had issues with the grading. I guess maybe because everybody was hot lapping and it's like, you don't notice these issues in hot laps. But bruh. Yeah, I've been putting that for like some time on the things. My inability of curves and taking curves in this game. Okay. I mean, it wasn't. I guess I don't know how well I was able to take curves before. This car wasn't particularly that great at it, but it was still a GT4, so I didn't really consider that an issue massively. No matter of the boat, it took curbs, so I guess that was also fine back then. Right, how much fuel am I actually gonna need for the race? Probably more than 70 liters. I'm gonna, I think, qualify on race fuel just to not completely obliterate the competition. I wanna anyway do a bit more practice laps. We're gonna take the re-entry roll out of this because this thing is very difficult right now to drive. Considerably is like quite tricky to drive right now. Yeah, I'm generally not complaining about 1.9 too much. It's just my issues aren't really with 1.9. It's the funny part. Do you make setups? Like, yes, I obviously do make setups. Do you mean I sell them? No. Do I like distribute them? I thought of actually making like a setup pack for cars like the Maserati that like aren't commonly driven, so people that like want to load them up have something. Because you can't go to setup and buy a setup pack for the Maserati. It just doesn't exist. I mean, is it sensible to pay over 30 bucks for a setup pack? I'm not sure. That's why I have contacts to source stuff like this, but like, nah. Not the biggest fan of using pirated either, but if you have them, like, why not use them? But when it comes to like making setups, like I can click something together, I can. Totally capable of doing that. Like I have 1,000 hours at this point in ACC, and I've played sim racing games for a few years. I know I understand the principles behind it, so I can do changes to a setup. It's just, at some point you like need a tech priest to throw at setups, because it makes no goddamn sense in some situations, and you just need in some situations to just try different wonky settings to actually get something that functions. I'm not someone who min-maxes his setups. I oftentimes don't turn up enough before an event to actually make a proper setup. So I oftentimes just race with whatever I have. And that's fine usually. I can just drive around my own problems. Aggressive preset is often not my friend. But yeah, as I wanted to say, like I've thought of like putting, perhaps not for Maserati, but like for the writer engineering, Rex a setup pack together. Because it's not too difficult to set up that car, but like, and it's not like anybody wants to drive that because it's so utterly uncompetitive that everybody recognizes that it isn't something you should drive. There's a lot of other cars that people don't quite recognize how uncompetitive they are, like the Bentley. Well, they do recognize it because they don't drive it. There's a reason why there's so many McLarens, Ferraris, and others on the front of the grid, because well, you literally lose about a second driving the other cars. Except for ACC, but I'm foreign and new to R-Factor 2. Why would you ever play R-Factor 2? Well, R-Factor 2 is kind of more simple, although I haven't touched it too much in recent times. Like, literally my last contact with the game was driving the GES 24 Hours of Nürburgring. And prior to that it was ELC 24 Hours of Bahrain. I have uninstalled the game of my computer, so that gives half an idea of like the state of affairs at this point, because I got very tired of having to troubleshoot the game and convince it to last minute get onto the server. It was very frustrating for all parties involved, including myself. It is not particularly fun in that aspect. But yeah, setups for R-Factor 2. Same as touring cars. It's like, yeah. I mean, one of the things you always do is like minimal pressures. Softest, although the softest tire compound you don't really have to use anymore. Especially with a lot of the endurance content in the game, it's no longer that much of a requirement to drive softest tire. Oh, Mendes is faster than me right now. Ah, by a full second even, Jesus. This is not less of a cakewalk than I expected. Was Mendes the guy that beat me in Imola? I mean, I am finding time here on the lap, but like, not by that much. Yeah. Oh, this is into... We tried the new 296. Yes! Yes, I have tried it and competed with it. You must have missed it when I drove there. God, I've drove it quite a bit. How long is it ago when the... How many... Was the end of May when I drove it? I think it wasn't June yet. It was before June. It was end of May, I think. Or mid-May, something like that. When I drove it in the... in 2 6-hour Spa events back to back on the same weekend. And finished on the podium on both of them. So that's kind of like my reason for abandoning the Bentley, because I suddenly went from like scrubby guy who like couldn't get into the top 10 to like hello, I'm knocking on to the winner's door. Let me in. Oh, God, I need to focus on my driving right now because I need to get my lines down again. I'm so utterly inconsistent right now. I mean, that's what you get with this car at times, but like... driver skill and ability should overcome this. Yeah, sure, go ahead. I think I still have the link in my description. I don't actually know if I'm linking to my Twitter account down there. I've been using that one a bit more actively recently. Not by much. I'm trying, I guess, to use it a bit. You get occasionally some memes and some good art. Oh yeah, right, we're still sandbagging. I just remembered. Like, I could easily go faster by, like, you know, taking the fuel off the car.
Clear on the right.
Right, we could easily probably still go faster. Let's keep it, however, this way. There's no prizes for starting on pole position. Heck, there's probably no prizes in general for even starting. Well, frankly, anyway. I don't even know if I could go that much faster from unloading the fuel out of the car. Yeah, taking the ALB out of the back really helped the stability to get this car back functioning. Oh, tire pressure is a bit on the high side. Let's click them back down. Also move the brake bias a bit forward. Helped also. I say that as I just locked up a bit. But I could brake so much later there. The car stayed stable. Because I was noticing that like the lights on the dashboard were lighting up on my rear tires. Lock-up warnings.
Yellow flag in sector 1.
Oh, ooh, I lost all the time there because I slightly messed up my line there. That is brutal. That is utterly brutal. I was 3/10 up there and just didn't drive the line perfectly and just lost so much time.
Yellow flag ahead. Watch out. There's a slow car ahead. There's a slow car ahead.
That's a Ferrari. What are you gonna do here? Because I'm pretty sure the GT3 can accelerate a bit better than this. Okay, I now overcooked the corner a bit. Yeah, that's the thing, like I messed up this corner slightly, but didn't really lose much time because basically, but like, surely could run faster than that, but like, okay, come on, dudes. You do know that, like, the better choice would have been to just wait.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Uh,
Well done, mate. That's the fastest lap.
I actually got relatively close to this point. 2 tenths. Enough, considering I'm sandbagging. I think I roughly have the hang right now of it. Okay, let's see. Do I have anyone coming from behind? No, I have clear air right now. But this lap is anyway not worth it, really. I think there's no pit stop in this series.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
If my memory is correct. And it's about a 45-minute race or something. We're burning about 2 liters a lap, just under. Although I do remember during the Imola race that I went faster in the race than in qualifying, so I don't know what to feel with a car that is full fuel and I'm not capable of going that much faster. The more. And I'm 8 tenths down right now.
Session is now
Immediately starts finding more time despite this is my damage cooldown lap. I'll lose it again. Oh well, Mendes actually, yeah, he's lapping consistently relatively fast. He didn't improve, but like, put another fast lap in there.
sector 1.
Alright, okay then. Let me briefly check on their side here. Right now. Results again. Okay, we're on the grid. I don't know how long we're gonna have there. GT4. I mean, Oliveira was the... Mendes was a P4 in that race. In qualifying. Like a second down on me. Gives an idea of how I'm not competitive well good. Wait a second, there's a GT3 behind me. How did this happen? Yeah, one GT3 got qualified by 2 of the GT4 runners. How did we do that? Pain. Right, okay, we need to check briefly. It's funny to see my car jump down. 45 minutes, right, okay. Good, 45 minutes. Means we can run less fuel in the car. Safely run the math. 43 divided by 60 plus 1. Memory store 45 divided by memory recall. Okay, 26 and a bit lapse. So 28 times. Oh, so that's 56. Let's take about 60 liters, then we should be fine. So
30 seconds.
60 liters. Take about 0.3 out of the tires.
20 seconds.
Why I adjusted the brake balance is a bit of a mystery to me. Let's see how the GT3 figures at the start. I don't know what that guy did to end up buying GT4s.
Going single file.
Considering we were a good 10 seconds down on pace. GT3 is starting, though he's not starting out of the pit lane. That's clear now. But the guy in front of us decided to not start on the grid, which is an advantage for us because it gives me a bit more room.
Stay away from curbs.
Yeah, on the left. Right, brake bias all the way rearwards to avoid locking them during the formation lap. God, I've seen this pro spot delivery so much. Not actually that much, considering the Aston is not that commonly used in GT4. I mean, the Alpine is Alpine and Porsches are very popular. At least according to the race I did on Sunday last week. Where we drove, Jeff and I drove a McLaren 570S, and we had so many Alpines and Porsches up against us. Unfortunately, we didn't make the podium quite then. Got to drive first, that dropped us to P7, but still we got a very good result there. Considering I qualified 11th. Yeah, the car was not good in qualifying, I think. Be right back, I'm moving to Germany. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you're European or if you're American. I make the joke regularly that I will swim across the Atlantic and beat some Americans up. Friends. Oh, who's calling? I think it's the friend group. At least I did now. I think the friend group got called again. Some friends of mine have decided to create a friend group, despite most of them being in a friend Discord with each other. And I don't know why they didn't add the other one, so we could just have all of them in the same Discord. Great minds think alike. I see, right. But yeah, I think probably it was the friend group that, like, as I have changed the logo of that group and set the name of it to the least gay VRChat players.
Green light, give it okay. Car on the right.
There goes the GT3.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Good luck, have fun. Yeah, I'm gonna try. Man, the Aston got jumped by 3 cars there at the start. He got mugged there. 2 Caymans and... 2 Caymans and myself went by him. So that's fun. But yeah, race room. You asked for it. I have played it like price. I actually played it back in the day when it was relatively new and came out relatively recently back then. And I drove a bit around, like did some hot lapping because that's all you could do back then on like the free track. There wasn't really much paid content either. This was like really 2013 back.
Yellow flag ahead. Be careful. There's a slow car ahead.
Well, there's some challenge to GT3 right now. Yeah, I drove it a bit. Didn't really interest me. Uninstalled it because it barely ran on my system. Not quite Race Room's fault. It was a garbage pre-built that was being played on, so that not much fault of that one. I played it later again when DDF Racer was hosting community event, and installed it again and competed in that event. But driving on Australian servers, yeah, isn't particularly too fun in Race Room. The rubber banding is very bad in that game in comparison to R Factor, and I think even ACC has better netcode. Race Room really wants you to be like on your same continent. ACC can easily do America and Europe. Like as a European, you can easily drive on American servers and it's not an issue. But Race Room probably would start having issues with it. Much about the computer is just my brother. Yeah, that's why I'm not going into the specs of the old one. Not that I think anybody would actually know anything to do with these specs off the top of their head, because the graphics card is odd. Like, it's seriously, the graphics power of that thing was good for PowerPoint presentations, I would say. Like, it provided video out. That's what I mean. Graphics card was good for that, but like doing actual gaming, it did better than it should, but it wasn't good. Right, we have the Aston right now in our gearbox. So he's disposed of the Caymans and is actually going reasonably fast. Alright, I guess the snooze fest is over here. We have to actually drive in this. Yeah. It could run Minecraft. To say that least. It could, that old computer could run Minecraft. It could run Race Room after all. I don't think I tried Doom 1993. I think... No, I didn't run Brutal Doom on that machine. I ran that on my laptop. So that machine could do... Probably that machine can do Brutal Doom as well. Which is a Quake mod, so... Go figure. And the computer could play Counter-Strike back in the day. Pretty sure I could. Or did I do that only on my PC afterwards, I think? I don't know. Right, what left hand am I actually doing, or why is this guy so stuck in my gearbox? Yeah, we're doing quality time right now. So I guess it is the meeting of the sandbaggers here. And I think he unloaded more sandbags than me. Oh, he's got a run there.
Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Ah, that's embarrassingly bad for me. Because outbraking people is not really my specialty for this circuit.
Clear on the right.
But he didn't fight this one too much. I think he wanted to go for the cuts back on me, but I still made the corner. We should be safe on the straights. But it is bad. It was Doom Eternal actually. I've tried the... As I said, I played I think a bit of Brutal Doom, which is a Quake mod effectively, so I played that. But I haven't played Doom Eternal. I played Doom 20 whatever it was when that game released. I think it released like 20... Oh, let's go something easier. It's 2015? 16? When the Doom reboot released, I played that. Enjoyed my time quite a bit with it. Not like I play that many games outside of racing games. Or like recently Switch games. Heck, even then, like if I don't play a racing game, I play DRG, or D4 Galactic, quite a bit in my free time, and I play occasionally Titanfall 2, still, very occasionally. I mean, I do need to slightly time when I play that game, because I can't around this time log on. Well, I think I can around this time still play it, but like in a few hours I would not be able to play it anymore because there's not enough activity on the game, on the servers. Titanfall with the Northstar client. Otherwise I think it is unplayable completely. Right, but he's putting more pressure on me than Race 1 at Imola. The other guy did. And I obliterated this guy here in the map, Aston. He was nowhere at Imola. And this was nowhere at Imola. I think he finished third still, but I think he maybe even finished fourth, but like he was way down. There was just no competition for us in the front, in the lead group, despite us fighting effectively the entire race. Well, the entire first half of the race till he got by me. Till the Camaro driver got by me. But I think it's a serious indication of like how much the Maserati has suffered since the update. That I'm having to fight everything under the sun at this point. I do remember a win on this track at Own It. A name that I usually do not talk about much more. For reasons. Where I beat out a Cayman driver. Back when the Cayman was prior to the GT4 BOP update, which nerfed the Cayman and buffed the KTM crossbar. That would be interesting because for the SOP series, which I've missed around 1 this week on Wednesday, just didn't feel like driving that day, and it would have been also a very close call in terms of the time. In terms of round 1 there. But in terms of that series I'm driving there, no longer the Maserati, I'm driving KTM Crossbow there. for GT4. Either it will probably be the McLaren or the Crossbow for me in GT4 going forward. I think the Maserati unfortunately has been at this point buried. If you just made it not viable. 1.9 just costed, I think, like a full second or something of pace. This car somehow. And it's just, that's not something it needed. I think in comparison to the Bentley, this thing is actually was viable. When the Bentley really never was. Maybe way back, but like not when I drove it. Back in like December. It wasn't viable anymore. Already. And all the series that I signed up afterwards really didn't see the Bentley any more viable than it was before. Problem with the Bentley is it was at least really good at solder. Not solder, it was okay, but like Sandvod, it was really good. So whenever you raced it at Sandvod, it was like really fast. So you would get a false impression. That's one of my reasons when I returned to GT3 back in end of October last year was because I drove the Bentley at Zandvoort in a 3-hour race. And we won that race. Well, in part because the Ferrari drivers in front got a drive-through penalty for track culling. But still, and our insane pit strategy, which was I run as long as I can out of this first fuel tank. To my parents somewhere. How was the start? Well, some GT3s died, nothing special. They didn't die in turn 1, they died in this corner over here. On lap 1. Since then nothing much happened. The Aston driver didn't get particularly good launch and got swamped by Caymans, but seems like he sandbagged in qualifying as well. And he seems to have had heavier sandbags in his car because he's hauling me around the track. And I'm lapping the same times I was lapping in qualifying, if not even slightly faster, so this is fun. Like, I was looking forward a bit to like, oh yeah, this is just gonna be me driving away with this. Not me having stress for 45 minutes, because I have an Aston Martin that has already got past me once. I was just about able to leverage myself back by him. Well, I did qualify with full fuel, so I actually had more fuel in the car than qualifying even.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
So there's that. Concerning part is this is really more concerning than when it was in Imola, where the previous round I raced in this championship, where I was hauled around the track by a Camaro driver that isn't here tonight. I think he turned up last week, but like I didn't turn up then. This guy behind me ran in Imola for like P3 or P4 or something, and he was like a second per lap slower than me then. So either this guy had a massive glow up, or it's just another illustration of how shit the Maserati is at this point. Granted, this track should not really suit this car, but I've wanted this track with this car, so I don't know. Maybe it is an Aston track and we never knew because nobody drives the Aston GT4 that much. Okay, that's... Ooh, I got away with just track limits. Exceeded, no time gained. But yeah, compared to the McLaren, that actual... somebody has gotten themselves disqualified. Well, that's an achievement. Gonna be interesting if I can keep him behind till the last 10 minutes or so, what he's gonna do then. If he's gonna try sending it with dives, because he hasn't been doing that too much. To be somewhat careful of my tires, because tire degradation is a thing, especially with this car. But I also need to be careful with traffic.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Ruining my entire line and causing me to lose quite a bit of momentum. He just backed out of it when the traffic hits, which... Oh fuck.
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
I think I forced him there to lift slightly because of my oversteer. Got very close there.
Car on the left.
To contact.
Clear on the left.
That MUQU is impatient? Which MUQU? There's no MUQs here.
Car on the left.
Yui. There was a BMW and a McLaren that went by me, and behind me is an Aston. Yeah.
Car on the right.
Again.
Faster car coming up behind you. Clear on the right.
About as far as you can get away without track limits there for me. Holding on for dear life. I wouldn't say he's impatient. I would say he's been relatively patient up until this point. He has so many opportunities effectively to launch an attack on me. It's just very difficult to overtake me. Oh, and he got a very good draft there from me. Still, the Maserati is very quick in a straight line. Oh, fuck off!
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
God, this front right wheel locked up there. McLaren coming through.
Faster cars approaching. Car on the right. Clear on the right. Faster cars approaching.
Yay, a temporary mouse and keyboard. That's that usually a normal household has spares like these. A lot of them.
Car on the left. Clear on the left. Faster car coming up.
And I really love seeing you race the Maserati. It's such a cool car, but
Car on the left. Clear on the left.
yeah, unfortunately I don't think I will do that much more
Faster cars approaching.
for the reasons I've outlined now a few times. Seeing you race the Maserati is such a cool car, but you have to good control over everything. Yeah, and as I've said a few times, the car has become, in my opinion, more difficult to drive.
On the left.
It is more unstable than it was before. Ooh!
On the left.
Oh, he hit me slightly there.
Faster car coming up behind you. We are halfway through, not over yet.
He's a bit more cautious with traffic, the Aston driver. He's losing more time with them.
Car on the left.
This time you can launch. But I'm not happy with what you did on the straightaway there. But yeah, the Maserati has the issue of it just not being competitive anymore. Like it's a cool car, but it has, as I said, become more difficult to drive to the point where it's like it starts being kind of not enjoyable anymore for me. And with it not being viable competitive, fuck off. With it being not particularly viable competitive anymore, it's...
Faster car
I
behind.
don't think I'm gonna drive it anymore.
Car on the left.
Well,
Clear
hello
on the
there.
left.
GT3s are scary.
Behind you.
Yeah, they do be.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Jeff, who I think is like technically the founder of Iris. I think not just technically, he is. He was racing. I've raced with him now a few times
Car coming up behind you.
over recent months in the last 2 months in GT. Well, we haven't actually raced GT3 yet
Clear on the right.
because that guy ran out of balls mid-corner there. God damn it! Like he makes a mega send into the corner and then just like forgets to drive out of it. And it just, brah, if you send it that hard, you could just go by. Instead of like forcing me to go side by side with you throughout the corner. But yeah, Jeff was driving a bit with me, and we did Imola 4 hours in a McLaren. We did Spa 6 hours last weekend. He really isn't used to how GT3 drivers treat GT4s. He's experienced R-Factor 2 endurance driver. He's driven both prototypes and GT cars many times in the past. He cannot handle how the GT3s in ACC drive around GT4s. It is very difficult for him. Well, he is handling it halfway decently. Yeah,
Car on the left.
you probably weren't there when I talked about it. I've signed up for the SOP multi-class summer series. I missed the first round due to just not making it quite and also not feeling like it on this Wednesday. But I've signed up for that with the KTM crossbow. And as I mentioned a few times, I've raced recently quite a bit the McLaren 570S.
Yellow flag, yellow flag.
So it has been... I have been trying out the different cars a bit. Not that much. Oh god, what's going on here? But it's just, the Maserati just isn't quite it anymore. Like at Imola, I loaded up the McLaren and immediately went a second faster. And it was so much easier to drive. It held the pace throughout the stint. Car's ultra consistent. Like, it's not that great on tires. You have to brake even earlier than the Maserati, which is hilarious. KTM I've raced in the past. I'm considering giving it another shot, considering it got buffed in the GT4 update. And it utterly dominated at Valencia when I drove it in the 4-hour. Then,
Car on the left.
like it can be a very quick car on certain tracks. It has been in the past. Maybe it has become viable enough to actually consider driving it now.
Yellow flag in sector 3.
So that's one consideration. The McLaren obviously is, due to its high straight line speed, that was it. Very fun at Spa, because there were so many Alpine drivers, but like, sure, they were faster than me in the middle sector, but they couldn't do anything about it, because even the short straight, like the short front stretch at Spa, right, they were so close to me going into the chicane, but like, I just pressed the throttle and drove away from them on the short shoot on the front stretch. It's nuts. So if the KTM doesn't work, I will probably go McLaren. The Maserati just, as said, it's not what it used to be. I think it lost with 1.9 about a second of pace to its competitors. I think the competitors quite benefited with the way the tire model now allows you to rotate cars easier. Because a lot of GT4 struggled with just getting rotation. So when an update that makes it easier to slide and rotate cars comes out, well, I don't know, they're gonna have a very easy time, while the car that had good rotation, good cornering, is just gonna suffer a bit. Although the KTM was a good car in corners already, so yeah, it do be like that sometimes. Yeah, we still have 15 minutes to go in this race, and this guy can make... Ooh. That's also a thing. As I said, like, the car has become more difficult to drive. It does shit like this way more regularly. You have to drive it even more cautiously in some ways. Previously, you could still thrash it around quite a lot.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
This tire seems to be so far holding up well enough. But man, that spot's... He's in quite a few attempts there. And I'm not even sure if I should go defensive now, considering I've defended now twice against him on the outside. I don't know if I want to give him the outside line. The LCI Silverstone was also like an illustration. A, that like fucking aliens. And B, Yeah, she isn't what she used to be. Maserati just isn't it anymore. Well, we do have the McLaren now in GT3, and we do have other options for GT4. It's no longer like 6 months ago where I only drive Maserati. We can actually drive GT3s. I'm gonna race the McLaren tomorrow. I decided to not finish the VTuber GT Championship with the Bentley. I'm gonna run the last round with the McLaren.
Car on the left.
Either he can't brake actually that much later than me. I mean, he can into the hairpin over there, but into these hairpins here, he isn't quite able to. In the sector 1 he can easily outbrake me, but here he struggles, it seems. Or he just doesn't want to, like, use more room than necessary. I feel like he still has some sort of edge there. Maybe it's also in part that he doesn't have a need to do anything there, because he has that spot. Man, how close he is.
Clear on the left.
It's like, this is so much more pressure than it was Imola. And Imola was a guy who was also like a second lap faster than me.
Car on the
That's
right.
GT3 by.
Clear on the right.
Because there I could actually keep him like a second behind at times. If he made a mistake and drove back, I could like keep the gap a bit. But like this guy just like evaporates any gap that I get. I mean, we could check, I think, on SGP what my fastest lap at Imola was. Not Imola, sorry, Misano here in the past with the Maserati, so we can actually compare what the pace is these days with the car. Because I think I was in the 43s probably with the car, and currently I'm staying 44s, higher 44s. Oh man, there's still 10 minutes on the clock. Small GT3 is coming. I think in part it's also because I brake relatively early for this corner.
Faster car coming up behind. Watch out.
I'm getting so much oversteer right now.
Clear on the left.
There's the McLaren coming.
Behind you. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Like, he's not immune to mistakes, but like... And yeah, we will have a bit more traffic before the end of the race. About 20 seconds behind. Although he is right now quite a bit behind me, so I have a bit of a buffer. Maybe he's trying to struggle a bit with his car. I don't think so. I'm struggling quite a bit to get mine under control. We have also another GT3 that is gonna pass us for position. He's gonna come up soon, luckily. They're a bit too wide, so you have to lift. Yeah, traffic is incoming, 2 seconds behind. Although they're gonna catch us on the straight, so that probably wouldn't make much of a difference. Like, the next car is 10 seconds.
Faster car coming up behind you. Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Oh
Car
god.
on the right. Clear on the right.
Bruh, that was a moment and a half. But I mean, the guy is gonna fight the other guy for position, so I guess that's why he's gonna commit to some hierarchy if he moves like that. Yeah, there's a bit more traffic behind, which is good for us. There's actually a lapped car in front of us at some point. Don't know if we're gonna catch that before the end. The rev limiter there, that's not good.
Car on the left. Faster car coming up behind you.
The next traffic also hits us on the straightaway here.
Faster car approaching. Watch out.
You can pass me before the braking zone, or not?
Car on the right. Clear on the
Come on, this side already! Ah, he's blocking me!
right. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
Oh fuck!
Clear on the right. Just light damage on the right. Faster car coming up behind you.
You wanna catch back up? Because I think he shoved me there. I don't know why that happened. Maybe he got shoved himself. Let's reset the gap again. Alright, okay. I mean, he took some damage probably on the front end. It's gonna help me a bit. Like, it isn't like he can break that much later than me. He can, but not by that significant amount. It is, at the end of the day, he's probably a less skilled driver than me.
Behind you.
Please come by, GT3.
Car on the right. Clear on the right.
Because my indicator buttons are on my controller, it is very difficult for me to press them while I'm driving. Maybe down the straightaway, but with those bends, I'm not taking my chances. How much I'm crossed up into the final corner there. Fortunately, I think we have 2 laps to go at this point. 4 laps of fuel though, that's enough.
Leaders on final lap.
Yep, 2 laps. Fuck.
Car on the left. Clear on the left. Car on the left. Clear on the left.
At this range I can't really out-drag him properly.
Yellow flag, be careful.
Fuck. That wasn't quite planned, but I was trying to just make the corner. That's... I'm sorry dude, but that's not gonna stick, that move. Ever. I know you're getting desperate to get by, but like... that move wasn't on, especially into a yellow flag zone.
Leader has finished the race.
Tires are really desperate on the rears at times.
Car on the left.
good enough run out of here. A bit of breathing space. I wouldn't describe 310s usually as that, but that's a bit better than usual. Right, one last major attacking spot. Well, actually two.
Car on the right. Clear on the right. Car on the left. Clear on the left. Excellent. What a race. Well done. Well managed. Bring it back home.
Oh, that was a fight and a half. Oh. Just holding on for dear life there. What a crazy race. Ah, GG, man. Oh, we're rolling away again. Hey, can I get my... GG, man. These people complain about tires, like, bruh. I drove this car, this thing is still... The tires are alive still somehow. Spent thrashing it around for like 45 minutes. Oh, that was tough. So tough, this thing. God, that was hefty. Well, we didn't actually get any grinding on the tires. Slight flat spots front left, somehow. There's not many braking zones really on this track that actually turn right, I guess. Turn left, sorry. Like, turn 1 is a right-hander, the next corner is a right, the next braking zone is a right-hander, the backstretch is a left-hander, the hairpin there, then it's another right-hand hairpin, then you have the corners at the end of the lap, which are right-handers, and the last corner is a left-hander. So like there's like 2 left-hand braking zones. How the hell did I flat spot my tires for them? Oh, whatever. Doesn't matter. We finished. And we're finished. There was a bit much camber, I would say, on the front tires, maybe. Rear tires were fine, front tires were probably over cambered. Maybe also just the way you wear this thing down. Oh, man, this was... Let's see. We'll probably throw me off the replay before I can find the incident. No, I think it wasn't there. Was it this lap? Did incident happen? No, it wasn't this lap. Guess it was this lap. Comes the Porsche by. Brake checks me effectively on the apex. I don't think he got chopped. I think he just... Yeah, he accelerates earlier than me. That's the problem. Because I can't accelerate that early, especially because I was out of control a bit before. Oh, he stalled briefly even. I'll let him catch up to me again. he's caught back up. Go back into attack mode. Go back to racing. So that worked nicely. Oh man. So. Oh, he's probably gone at this point. Yeah. GGC. Yeah, the Maserati is crazy, but like it isn't fast or easy anymore to drive. Unfortunately, right. So I think this closes out the race for tonight. And we're gonna we can briefly figure out what, if I can probably figure out what my lap times were back when I raced Onit's Endurance Championship end of last year. It'll take me a bit of scrolling, but I should get there. Right, Bathurst Power Card, Imola, Laguna Seca, Brands, Spa, Hungaroring, Misano, was an MLR race, PLR race. I want, that's Indy, this is Misano. Right, Misano. Race fastest lap 43.5. What am I saying about this car being about a second per lap slower now? Yeah, it do be like that. I mean, it probably was a bit colder, but like still, that's a full second. Just evaporated basically. Of lap speed, just gone, and it's like, bruh. What was I lapping? Like, I was lapping, when I looking at the chart here, like, I got into the 43s regularly. Oh, it doesn't list, I think, all the laps here. It lists only 50 laps of the 80 laps. In any case, I was lapping, like, down into the 43s regularly, low 44s, very regularly. Although I was lapping low 44s, into the 44s as well today, but it's like, not that much, I think. As much as I should. Do I still have the fastest lap? Oh yeah, I can actually. I have my plugin here. Advanced scoring. Maserati here. 43.0. Can't be. Did I lap a 43 during this race? It would be hard to believe. The problem is we won't get the results till like in a few days or so. Till the leaks gets spoiled uploaded. So I don't know if that's actually accurate. So lap. Lap percentage. Last lap time, best lap time, 44.1. So yeah, that's so that I got down to like low 44s, I guess. So it's not that significant, I guess. The time losses. It's probably like half a second or so. I don't know. I mean, the car was able to hold for low 44s. It wasn't just able to like put it once in. It was going down to mid 43s on its peak. So, you know, that wasn't a relatively similar situation. Although the Cayman back then was pressuring me a lot less than the Master driver tonight. He had a lot more pace than me, and I think I survived because his brakes weren't as good as I expected, so I survived because of that. And then the Aston driver just, I think, wasn't quite as good, frankly. Like, he pulled all the stops out in terms of, like, his racecraft, right? But, like, I still saw everything coming. He somehow didn't catch me by surprise. I was on my A game in this, and defending. I just held on. And I didn't make any big mistakes. I slid out a few times, but like it just wasn't quite enough for him. And he probably made more mistakes than me. So there's that. Right. Okay, I think this wraps it up for tonight. Tomorrow I will be back with I was about to say ELC. With track GT VTuber GT final round at Paul Ricard. I'm coming with a 720S Evo. So yeah, that's looking fun. I do need to probably do some practice laps, but I haven't gotten to doing that, and that's gonna be fun for tomorrow. Figuring out. Low preparation. We're gonna head in there. We're gonna see if I can drive this thing up the order, because I should be able to. Even the Bentley I dragged up quite high, way higher than I should have been able to. Frankly, with the pace that I got off the 720S in testing, I should have been able to, I don't think win the race, but P2 probably 2 weeks ago. So when I was able to get the Bentley briefly into the top 3, but like then it just it's 2 spins and the car's pace just imploded in the end. So it even denied me P6 there. So that wasn't fun. Right. Okay then. Good night. Bye bye.